And I'll tell you that Niger's coup-toppled President Mohamed Bazoum has pleaded with the West African Bloc's court to free him. Bazoum has been under house arrest with his immediate family since July 26. This is according to his Senegalese lawyer, Seydou Diagne, who filed a lawsuit alleging arbitrary arrest and violation of freedom of movement. Niger's coup leaders have declared their intention to prosecute the democratically elected Bazoum for high treason and undermining internal and external security. However, Diane adds that if the court rules in favor of Bazoum, Niger has the legal obligation to execute the decision. Now, we tell you that heavy storms have left multiple structural damages in parts of Pretoria, where several houses were left damaged with trees uprooted on Tuesday evening. This follows a warning from the South African Weather Service of first spring thunderstorms over the eastern parts of the country. And so this morning, Lehlohonolo Thobela, who is a weather forecaster, joins me live from of course, South Africa to talk more about this. Thank you so much, Thobela, for joining us on the news.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
So, if you are going to describe what has happened in that part of South Africa in terms of the storm, how would you describe it? Of course, how are the people coping with this devastation?
Okay, so the day started very warm and nice, especially over areas around Gauteng and Limpopo and Mpumalanga. However, closer to the late afternoon, that's when we had thunderstorms that developed over the eastern areas of the Northwest Province, as well as the eastern parts of the Free State Province, spreading over to the central and the western areas of KwaZulu-Natal. In the evening, then that's when we started experiencing thunderstorms moving over a drier area of Gauteng, which then resulted in dry microbursts, which then results in some may call downdrafts. It's just normally it's raised into be defined. It is just sinking air that then develops within a thunderstorm, which resulted in damaging winds around the areas. I mean, you've had gusts gusting about 80 kilometers per hour in some areas north of Gauteng, which then is part of what you've shown in Pretoria.
So, as disaster management activation being done in that part of the country to most especially assist those who are actually going through that traumatic situation, and of course to try and quantify and understand reasons why we have issues like this. Of course, it's a natural disaster, but then we could always have some sort of preemption to understand that if things happen like this, there are ways by which to either prevent it or mitigate the impact.
Yes, sure. Of course. I mean, prevention is better than cure, and it depends on the area. Informal settlements are the ones that actually got to be impacted further more than the urban areas. In urban areas, we've seen uprooted of trees, especially around areas where we had a lot of trees around the area, and a lot of damage was done into cars, and we see fallen trees over cars, and much more of the infrastructure of walls and buildings were impacted by the trees that went down. Substation also burned down due to strong winds that blew over areas around Boksburg, and we know of communities that are still without electricity due to that substation that burned down. In terms of disaster management, yes, they've made also inquiries as well as having contact with the communities to see and assess the problem, and for them to be able to take out or any part of the mitigation plan. That's under disaster management. But in terms of thunderstorms, yes, it was the first spring thunderstorms that were expected in the northeastern areas, and as the weather service, we were all anticipating isolated showers and thunder showers as they happen over the areas.
But before I let you go, Thobela, now we heard that the skies are clear now. Are there any changes in terms of the weather? That people should expect? Are these people expected to experience another kind of catastrophe, or we should just be hopeful that this will not happen again? And what precautionary measures do you think the people or residents within that area should take in case there's going to be a recurrence? Do we expect that not to happen again?
I think having experienced what the windy conditions have done in terms of damage, One thing that I would say promote and people should know is to make sure that they are on par in their communication ways, like listen to the radio, watch TV where we have warnings sent out, as well as follow our social media pages, maybe Facebook, Twitter, which is also known as X. We also have LinkedIn for professionals where they all also part of it, where we send out our warnings. We also have a YouTube page. So the main thing is to make sure that everyone is understanding of all the warnings that we sent out, and secondly to keep safe in their homes where when such things are yet to be sent out as warnings. If you are forced to drive, then keep a safe distance on the road, because one thing about storms, they do bring about a lot of rainfall, which ends up bringing about floods. And in flooding conditions, that's where we get a lot of accidents, especially when we have high traffic volumes or where people are coming from work or going to work or going to school. So it is matter of people being safe. But however, the main thing is to make sure that people are aware. So they must all follow all the social media pages, as well as watch TV and listen to the radio for any warnings that are sent out, so that they are better prepared in terms of such disasters.
Thank you so much, Thobela, for sharing this information with us on the news this morning.
Thank you for having me.